Hi guys, today I would like to show you some of my succulents and talk to you a little bit about how I care for my succulents. As you can see, I have several kinds. I used to have more, but it took me a little while to learn how to care for succulents. And to be honest with you, they're really easy to care for, but there are a couple things that I would recommend to you, that you do in your care. So, grab something to drink and let's get started. So, here you can see I have a couple different kinds. This tall one right here, this is called bear claw. And surprise, surprise, actually, right here you will see a leftover of a flower. It actually flowered. I didn't even know that happened. This is one of my oldest ones. This here is the same as this here. I don't know the name of this one, but it's rather common. And right here you will see this is a gorgeous, I believe it's called string of pearls. I love that one. And please check out my beautiful little sheep planter that I have it in. And then this one right here, the tiny guy, is the same as this one. I'm just starting it out to give it to someone. So one of the first things that I want to tell you about succulents is when you get them from the store, you might want to examine the soil and basically replant them. You can't really tell here, but what I have mine in is a mix of potting soil and sand. Roughly 50-50 or 30-70 is the percentage that I mix it in, and to be honest with you, it also depends on how how much sand I have on hand. But good drainage is essential, and I know you're probably looking at this planter and you're like, there is no drainage. Yeah, sometimes I sacrifice the drainage hole for the planter itself, because sometimes I would like a planter that just doesn't have a drainage hole, but I think the planter is beautiful and I want it. So in this case, what I do is I put a good layer of about 1 inch of pebbles on the bottom, and then I put the soil on top. So one of the main things to know about succulents is, like, when you get them from the store, replant them in a sandy, well-drained soil. And then you might want to water a little bit right when you plant them. But in general, the biggest issue that people face, and I have faced with caring for succulents, is that we water them more than they need. To give you a very good kind of benchmark for watering that I have kind of come across that works the best for me, is during the months of March to November, and by the way, I keep these indoors the whole year. During the months March to November, I water these about once every 10 days. And when I water them, I water them sparingly. Like, I make sure that they're watered with a little bit of water. And the ones that don't have drainage holes, sometimes I will spray, like with one, just I have a regular utility sprayer that I use to spray them in. So once every 10 days, I think it's plenty. And then from November to March, basically it's recommended that you don't water them at all. In my house, it gets very, very dry, so I spray them with the sprayer really good. with water about maybe once a month, not more than that. But if the humidity levels in your house are high, you probably won't need to even do that. However, if you have like heating going on, that will dry the air, and then you will need to do this. Aside from that, really the restraint for watering succulents is the key for keeping them alive, because they pretty much retain water in those beautiful leaves that they have, or in these beautiful pearls. I mean, how amazing is that? The fact that this is even a plant is so just mesmerizing to me. But anyway, try to keep yourself from watering it as much as you water your other plants. That is really the key here. And then the way you propagate succulents, there is various school of thoughts that make it very complicated. They're like, you need to break off a piece and leave it to callus. And to be honest with you, I don't do that. I will show you what I do. I basically break off a piece and I leave it here on top of the soil. I'm using this planter. You can use a clean planter that you have, that you want your succulent to grow in. And basically you can see here that they do start to have little, roots coming up. And they will grow this way. The only trick is when you're pulling a leaf and you want to start a succulent plant from a leaf, let's say something like this or something like this, your inclination would be to go down here so you don't ruin the look of your plant. But you have got to go with the middle. Like, you have to take a very juicy leaf, and from here I'll probably get one of these if I want to start the plant, not these here. Like, you don't want to do that because those are probably not gonna grow. In terms of the ones that have like stems or branches like this, what I do is, like, I would take a whole branch like so. Let me show you. I would tear up a little branch, and again you put it like just on top of soil like this, and the plant will start to root and start to grow. That is all you need to do. There is no need for callusing and all of that mumbo jumbo. I mean, I'm sure that works too, but I just never have the patience to do it. So I'm just sharing how I'm doing it. And another point I want to make is, if you keep your succulent in the same planter for, let's say, more than a year, you might want to replant it in fresh soil, because that soil loses nutrients over time, and there won't be enough nutrients for your plant. And that goes not only for succulent, that goes for other indoor potted plants, or just plants that you pot in a pot, essentially. If you keep them in the same pot like I have done here, I usually try to feed them about once a month, during the months March to November, with just some regular plant feed. I found one that I will insert a picture of here, that is for tomatoes, that honestly seems to work pretty good. And to be honest with you, I sometimes forget, so I'm not excellent at feeding them, but as you can see, they're doing really, really well. I've managed to keep these alive for several years, so that's why I wanted to show you them. And succulents also do require daylight, and they do like warmth, like warm weather. But definitely, keep your succulents in a wet lit spot in your house. And if you do those couple things, basically put them by a window and restrain yourself from watering too much, you're gonna have thriving succulents. And They are really fantastic plants for the lazy gardener and the lazy lover of plants, or for people that travel a lot, because you can like leave them and they will not die on you as long as you don't overwater them. That's pretty much the main takeaway from this video. Don't overwater your succulents. I am trying to, as you can see guys here, I have these purple starters. I am trying to get kind of different colors besides green, but this is my first attempt, so I will keep you posted on how that goes. And I would love to hear from you. You know, if you have any other tips and tricks for, you know, growing beautiful succulents, what do you think about mine? And also, you know, if you have any favorite kinds or any recommendation of what's the next succulent for me to get, I would love to hear that. Anyway, share below and like and follow for more. Thanks. Bye.